This is my Bodyguard strategy in Squad Busters, and in this video we're going to take a look at how it works and how you can apply it in your matches to secure easy first places, no matter how far into the game you are. First, let's take a look at how I did it in a real match of Turbo Overload, and then understand how it works after. So I start out with Colt as my first troop. Colt is one of my favorites to run as you can keep up the pressure consistently at very long range, and in classic form can fire a powerful string of bullets after only taking out 4 hostiles. But even though Colt is an awesome ranged troop, he doesn't have the health to fight more powerful squads. That's where El Primo comes in, with nearly 4 times the health. If you didn't know, Squad Busters automatically pushes your short range characters to the front, who often tend to be the more tanky characters like El Primo. This lets Primo make a shield for Colt, and we back him up with a second Primo in this match to make sure our damage dealer is safe. We're now going to add another Colt into the mix for some extra firepower, where we can see that our range barely took a hit against the pretty formidable bowler. In this scenario, it's definitely viable to take out a lot of hostiles as my squad doesn't even break a sweat against these uncaged goblins. Now that I have 2 of Colt and Primo, I make the decision to pick up a third Colt. Not only do we gain more damage from this, it makes my defense's job even easier by only having 1 weak target in the team again, which is great considering Colt is also tankier from fusion. Now here's where the strategy gets interesting. We have solid defense and offense, so what should we do? I noticed how low the squad was on resources, so I picked up Greg to get us some extra coins. Support troops such as Greg can be great for times when you have a balanced squad, which we'll go over more later. Now I did want to increase my health more, which sadly meant I had to sacrifice the size of my Primo's shield for a fusion, leaving our troop numbers low, which didn't last long after I picked up a medic, one of my favorite troops to have in a squad mid to late game. Now I have a chance to farm up, so I pick a Barbarian up for extra health and close range damage like another half El Primo. Right as I head into mid with this confidence, I noticed a double Shelly team that was low on health and troops. The perfect time for me to come in with my more powerful squad. That pretty clean kill secured me a chest to grab a 4th Primo, as I want to keep at least 1 more full defense character ahead of my offense, and the Barbarian was more like half, so it didn't really count. I then picked up an Archer Queen. She's great at keeping some of the more distance pressure with Colt, which makes sense as the squad still has more defense. Now that I've scared off the other aggressive teams from mid, I could take out a few more monsters and grab another Primo. Making sure that when you know you're dominant, you hold your ground is crucial, especially after the squad went to challenge me and realized their mistake. I took some gems from one troop of the squad here, and then the full broken gem mine for myself. I probably shouldn't have gone for this challenge at the end, but I knew nothing could come of it anyway. So now we know why it worked, let's talk about how. So firstly, let's talk about positioning. Colt's able to tear through a team's defense using El Primo's health as the perfect shield, especially considering the way that the tanky short-range troops will always position themselves in front of the ranged attackers if they have time, as I mentioned before. However, this doesn't work when you're right up against an enemy, so try to only have half of your attack circles connect. Even though it makes sense to carry on adding Colts and then Primos, we won't always get these 2 in our lineup for the start of the game. Because in case you didn't know, at the start of the game you can see all of the troops that will feature in chests inside your match. So it's crucial to know all of your characters. Archer Queen's my favourite backup for Colt, but Bow and Witch both have similar range and damage with a bit less pressure. And as is key with the strategy, characters such as Barbarian and Greg will be able to only tank a few less hits than El Primo, but try not to have Greg on your front line as he's more of a support troop. Now let's talk about fusions. Because 3 troops are counted as 1 after a fusion, chest price can and often does go down over the course of a match. This really makes it viable to pick up a resource gatherer late game though, such as Greg or a Goblin, because normally the small amount of coins that you get from them is only useful early game for some outer chests when the price is still low. If you want to see a separate video about Goblins or Greg, let me know in the comments. But even though fusions are great for chest economy, having low troops gives your squad a higher chance to all get stuck in damage slowness, which is where the pressure is kept up by the enemy so much that you can barely escape. If you have more troops, your opponent may not hit them all, giving you a chance to run with your remaining troops if you have enough turbos. And if you aren't able to hold up your defense for the Bodyguard strategy, you'll need to keep your troops at higher numbers instead of strength. So as I said before, let me know if you guys want to see a video on specific characters, if you want to see some more strategies, or if you just want to see me analyze some of my games and understand what I did wrong. And if you guys can't play yet, get ready for global release on May 29th.
Better watch out cause the boys back in town, swerving on the block and we coming back around, talking all the shit, pussy boy he a clown, gotta keep my money up and leave my ups down. Bitch, why you still talking, why you still watching, oh you just mad cause I pops with 10k shopping, bitch stop calling, show you throw back.